heart out.
Hi, I'm Kayla Ogden, and this is Write Your Heart Out. And it's just me today. There's no Rachel here sitting with me, which is sad. But I just wanted to do this funny little bonus episode because I had an idea and I just want to run with it. Write Your Heart Out, we're going down to a bi-weekly schedule, so we'll be out every other Wednesday. And in 2 weeks, we'll have a normal episode. It's actually going to be great. It's character development and actually how to develop characters using the Enneagram. So definitely look out for that in 2 weeks. But today I just want to share this sort of funny little idea that I had. As you may know, Taylor Swift just released her 12th album, The Life of a Showgirl, which features a track called Actually Romantic. And that track is a clear response to Charli XCX's song called Sympathy as a Knife that she put out last year on her iconic album called Brat. So we have these two mega pop stars who are talented in so many ways, and they both write their own songs. I thought it would be a cool exercise on Write Your Heart Out to break down the lyrics and compare the verses and writing styles on these diss tracks. I like both of these artists, but they are very, very different. Like as people and artists. It's hard to imagine them ever hanging out or collaborating. They're like in different lanes, and that's good. I think that we can like and support them both. We will definitely talk about writing, but first I can give you a quick and dirty rundown of the beef as I understand it, so you can have a good context for what the lyrics mean. And this will also indulge my Brat side or my Reputation era side. So are you ready for it? Taylor Swift asked Charli XCX to open for her on her Reputation tour, and Charli did perform in front of Taylor's show for the majority of her dates in 2018. Later, when Charli was interviewed about the experience, a line was cherry-picked out from her responses to the interviewer's questions, where Charli said, "As an artist, it kind of felt like I was getting up on stage and waving to 5-year-olds." So the Swifties didn't like that, but Charli was used to playing like 18 plus clubs, which would definitely be a different vibe. And Charli being Brat and also just refreshingly open about her emotions, even when it's not pretty, she just shared that feeling. And who wouldn't be caught off guard transitioning from performing at like a rave to an all ages event? I think what she said was funny, like it would be a good premise for an SNL skit or something. So this coked out brat gets off stage at Coachella and then is pushed on stage at like Disney on Ice or something and just is like completely bewildered. So Charli had to explain that she had said much more than that during the interview, which wasn't published, where she gushed about Taylor's hospitality and generosity and how much she had learned from the show. Beef squashed. And there's no response from Taylor on record about this. But then we fast forward to 2023, when Swift and Matty Healy of the band 1975 had a whirlwind romance for about a month, or maybe a fortnight, but maybe longer. The two musicians had known each other for a decade at that point. And Charli was dating the 1975 drummer George Daniel, who she's married to now. So if Charli's song, her diss track, is to be taken literally, this brought her and Taylor together backstage at the 1975's shows for a while. A year later, in April 2024, Taylor released her album, The Tortured Poets Department, which was mostly about her breakup with Matty Healy. From what I can gather, there wasn't anything about Charli in the lyrics on that record. But then Charli released Brat a couple of months after Tortured Poets came out in June 2024. So she puts out this music video where she brings a bunch of bad bitches together for this hilarious romp. And she includes Matty Healy's like new fiance, the woman he, moved on from Taylor Swift with, Gabriette Bechtel. Charli even has a line in the song 360 that says, "Call me Gabriette, you're so inspired." So that's kind of sad because Taylor just put out this whole heartache album about Matty, and now Charli loves his new girl. And on Brat is this other song, the one we're talking about today, called Sympathy as a Knife. And it's about Taylor Swift, and everyone knows it. So now for the lyrics. I'll do Charli's song first, since it was the impetus of Taylor's retort, which is called Actually Romantic on her new album. So the first two verses of Charli's song. I don't want to share the space. I don't want to force a smile. This one girl taps my insecurities. Don't know if it's real or if I'm spiraling. One voice tells me that they laugh. George says that I'm just paranoid, says he just don't see it. He's so naive. I'm embarrassed to have it, but I need the sympathy. 'Cause I couldn't even be her if I tried. I'm opposite. I'm on the other side. I feel all these feelings I can't control. Oh no, don't know why. All this sympathy is just a knife. Why can't I even grit my teeth and lie? I feel all these feelings I can't control. Oh no, don't know. Now it's back to my commentary. So here Charli is being super vulnerable and I think critical of herself and her own feelings. It sounds like Taylor was hanging out with the band now, dating the frontman, Maddie Healy. And so Taylor's kind of on Charli's territory. Charli followed Taylor around on the Reputation tour. She was part of her ensemble cast and she wasn't the star. She was kind of in Taylor's shadow. Now it's Charli and these guys, they're all from the UK. They've worked together and been in friendship and partnership for years now. And then here comes Taylor to steal the show. But this also kind of reminds me of a lyric that Taylor had on her song, Too Big to Hang Out. So from Taylor's perspective, this kind of reminds me of her lyrics to Antihero, which she put out in 2022. One of the verses says, sometimes I feel like everybody is a sexy baby and I'm a monster on the hill. Too big to hang out, slowly lurching toward your favorite city. Pierced through the heart, but never killed. So those are amazing lyrics from Taylor on Midnights. Midnights is my favorite Taylor Swift album. And this kind of relates back to, she's just too big to come and hang out backstage at the 1975 show with Charli and everybody. And it's like lurching towards your favorite city. It's funny because I think Taylor was at shows like in London and stuff, which is sort of Charli's stomping ground. So here comes Taylor to steal the show. And so Charli is supposed to be gracious. She doesn't want to, but she doesn't want to like force a smile. And it's also so relatable that she talks to her boyfriend about it and he thinks she's paranoid. She doesn't know if her feelings are legit or if she's just spiraling. The writing is colloquial and self-effacing. There are no metaphors that I can see. It feels like we're her friend and she's just blowing off steam talking to us. And then it goes into the next verse, which is, it gets kind of dark. She writes, why I want to buy a gun. Why I want to shoot myself. Volatile, at war with my dialogue. I'd say that there was a God if they could stop this. Wild voice tearing me apart. I'm so apprehensive now. Don't want to see her backstage at my boyfriend's show. Fingers crossed behind my back. I hope they break up quick. So I don't know if Charli was actually suicidal about the situation, but I suspect not. I think the words she uses in this verse are supposed to convey a deep frustration with the situation, but in Brat terms. I want to buy a gun and fucking shoot myself if this girl is backstage again. Like, God, if there is a God, make this stop, make her go away. It's kind of funny. I think that she's making fun of herself a little here, but it's also lonely and sad. She's spiraling and she wishes she didn't feel this way, but she can't help it. And she just wants someone to acknowledge her pain. And her boyfriend doesn't get it. The rest of the band probably loves Taylor, and Charli just wants Taylor to go away. So it's a very emotionally wrought. Here's the next part. Because I couldn't even be her if I tried. I'm opposite. I'm on the other side. I feel all these feelings I can't control. Oh no, don't know why. All this sympathy is just a knife. Why can't I even grit my teeth and lie? I feel all these feelings I can't control. Oh no. And then there's a bunch of repeating, all the sympathy is just a knife. And I must admit that I don't know if I understand the sympathy is a knife part. She says in the first verse that I'm embarrassed to have it, but I need the sympathy. Maybe she needs someone to understand, to be like, yeah, that totally sucks. But when somebody says that, she feels humiliated. My overall thoughts on the quality of the lyrics is that they are 1,000% vulnerable, real, confessional, raw, and it's just like Charli's talking in her own voice. I like the way that it ramps up from complaining to her boyfriend to wanting to shoot herself and praying to God to make this mental torment and insecurity stop. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Now, Taylor Swift has responded with a track called Actually Romantic. And let's get into it. The first verse says, I heard you call me boring Barbie when the cokes got you brave. High-fived my ex, and then you said you're glad he ghosted me. Wrote me a song saying it makes you sick to see my face. Some people might get offended. Okay, so this is just the setup, talking about Charli being a brat. Writing-wise, it's just kind of words that go along with the beat, but the cokes got you brave part is quite thorny. And then she gets into the chorus. But it's actually sweet, all the time you spent on me. It's honestly wild, all the effort you've put in. It's actually romantic. I really gotta hand it to you. No man has ever loved me like you do. This is me talking again. This is just a cute little bop. No man has ever loved me like you do is interesting. Is she being self-effacing now? Like, ironically, Charli thought about Taylor more than Maddie Healy did? I don't know. So then she has the next verse. Hadn't thought of you in a long time, but you keep sending me funny valentines. And I know you think it comes off vicious, but it's precious, adorable, like a toy chihuahua barking at me from a tiny purse. That's how much it hurts. How many times has your boyfriend said, why are we always talking about her? So that's the chorus. And then she has another verse that says, you think I'm tacky, baby. Stop talking dirty to me. It sounded nasty, but it feels like you're flirting with me. I mind my business. God's my witness that I don't provoke it. It's kind of making me wet. And then she goes into the chorus again. So this is just kind of her hammering away at the concept. But then the making me wet part is interesting. I think Taylor's having fun on this album being a little more risque and sexual, which is fair, but it feels a little strong here. So Taylor is a very good writer. She has albums that are more about the lyricism, like the Tortured Poets Department, Folklore, Midnights, which I mentioned. This album seems to have a lot of songs where her and her producers came up with a hook or a concept and then just like expanded on it. I like the album, but I guess songs like this just don't give a person much to work with in terms of the writing. I'm sorry. It stays on message. Maybe the emptiness or the flatness of the words is kind of appropriate because it's like, I only care about you enough to write this little ditty, which I will never perform or do anything with. It's just a little boop on the album, a little clickbait, give them something to talk about to bolster even more excitement for this work, squeeze a little more money out of it. And then maybe Taylor's like, well, let's just move on because Charli, you are just as you feared, an inconsequential, nothing, not even worth a thoughtful song. I don't know. I mean, Taylor's song does kind of feel like she's just swatting away a fly. So I think there was a lot more heart in Charli's song if we're comparing the two. But, that's nothing to say of, their overall work, competency as writers. I don't know. What do you think? Which song did you like better? Which words did you like better? Was there anything that you thought was particularly good or bad about the writing on these songs? I'd like to hear it. Yeah, so we're going to be back. I miss Rachel already. But I'm going to see her at her 40th birthday party soon. And we're going to be back with that character development Enneagram episode, which is really cool, on October 22nd. So look up for that. Thanks for indulging me, guys. Bye.